What happened to Susan Atkins and Tex Watson? The Manson Family Murderers. Netflix's Chaos. The Manson Murders is out now, and here is what happened to Susan Atkins and Tex Watson after the Manson family murders. The Manson family murders are some of the most notorious and mysterious crimes in the history of California and the United States, with Charles Manson somehow leading his young followers to commit a series of drug-fueled murders. Susan Atkins and Tex Watson are two of the most notorious members of the Manson family, with them helping with the murder of Sharon Tate. And here's what happened after the story that was covered in Chaos: the Manson murders. Many members of the Manson family were charged for their roles in the murder spree that plagued California in the late 1960s, with Charles Manson and several of his followers being found guilty for first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit murder. The most famous of these murders are the murders that took place at the home of Sharon Tate, with Susan Atkins and Tex Watson being joined by Linda Kasabian and Patricia Krenwinkel as they entered the property and killed Sharon Tate, Jay Sebring, Abigail Folger, Wojciech Frykowski, and Stephen Parent. Susan Atkins and Tex Watson received death sentences for their involvement in the Manson family murders. After the 1969 murders, Susan Atkins was arrested in October 1969, and Tex Watson was arrested in November 1969 in Texas after fleeing Spahn Ranch. This came after Atkins confessed her role in the murders to two fellow prisoners while in jail for an auto theft charge. Atkins went on trial alongside Manson, Krenwinkel, and Leslie Van Houten on August 8, 1969. Atkins testified to the prosecution in order to stop California from seeking the death penalty. However, this deal was dropped when she stopped cooperating. Thus, Atkins was sentenced to death for her role in the murders. Tex Watson's legal battle was a more drawn-out process. Wattson's team attempted to stop Watson from being extradited to California after being arrested in Texas, with this taking 9 months. When Watson was brought back to California, he stopped eating. This led to him being admitted to a hospital, where he underwent a 90-day evaluation that attempted to see if he was fit to stand trial. Tex Watson's trial concluded on October 12, 1971. Where he was found guilty of 7 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of conspiracy to commit murder. Watson was sentenced to death. Susan Atkins died of brain cancer in 2009 while still incarcerated. Susan Atkins began her sentence on April 23, 1971, although her sentence would change not long after. California's People v. Anderson case ended the death sentence in the state, leading to Atkins' sentence being turned into life in prison. Atkins became a Christian while in prison, and she also got married 2 times, first in 1981 and second in 1987. Atkins' second husband, James W. Whitehouse, was a lawyer who began to represent Atkins at her parole hearings. Atkins was denied parole 12 times throughout her life, via ABC News. While in prison, Susan Atkins developed brain cancer, with this being revealed to the public in 2008. Atkins' health quickly deteriorated, with her being forced to amputate her left leg due to her condition. She became mostly paralyzed and had to use a wheelchair to get around. On September 24, 2009, Susan Atkins died while still incarcerated, with her death coming as a product of her terminal brain cancer. Tex Watson is still in prison but has been denied parole 18 times. Tex Watson began his prison sentence on November 17, 1971, but much like Susan Atkins, his death row conviction became a life sentence thanks to People v. Anderson. Watson also converted to Christianity while in prison. Watson got married in 1979, with him and his wife later getting a divorce in 2003. Unlike some of the other Manson family members, Tex Watson is still alive as of the writing of this article. Like the other Manson family members, however, Watson has been denied parole numerous times. Throughout his life in prison, Tex Watson has been denied parole 18 times, with his last hearing in 2021 earning him a 5-year denial via the Mercury News. Tex Watson is still incarcerated at the Richard J. Donovan Correctional Facility in San Diego County, California, serving his sentence for the crimes that were covered in chaos, the Manson murders.